What's good? I'm gonna do a recap for Serius Jones versus Dizaster for King of the Dots BlackOut 7. So round 1, Dizaster goes first. Immediately starts going at Sharon, why he won't battle in, and he goes at Sharon's character, and then he goes into the expected, the Hoffa material, and the punch and Hoffa jokes and what happened really and so forth, and then says Serius called him, and then says Serius wanted him to do it, and Serius was telling him he offered him this, and Serius reacts when he's saying this. Serius reacts like he wanted Diz to bring up the call, So Serius has some stuff to say about that as well, and then finally, Diz starts directing his material more towards Serius. Before he was talking about more Hoffa and Sharon, and now he starts really going at Serius, and then. He said something crack his hairline. United Airlines will drag a chin on the floor, and then that was a haymaker at the event because it was a current fresh thing on the mind, and it was dope to just come in and around. And then, but while this happened, Serius Jones is being Serius Jones as we see him in all his battles. He's talking through his opponent's rounds, and but also too I think it like. That was such a current event. I don't know, when Diz had wrote that. If maybe he had wrote that recently and he was already, loose, on the mind, wasn't really fully comfortable with that material. If that was more him causing him to slip, but yeah, he slipped at this point. He had to take some pause, and then he reverted to some throwaway material, but. He took a little. It was a hesitation. It was somewhat of a choke, and but I mean that's what Serius does. But Diz went with some throwaway material. He finished off the round, but he didn't say much to Serius really. Serius Jones comes in, like a veteran, kind of calm and collected, and somewhat of a freestyle. I think it was something like a Canadian coin or whatever. Flipped his wing on the other side. His small rounds is golden, but it seemed like he came in freestyle, and then but I mean they're both legends, so that they have a history, to talk about in this battle. This is a legend battle, and so Serius tells a story of first Dizaster. He says it was with Mr. Fab out in Cali. He says, and then he says Fab said rap for Jones, and then he starts doing it, Dizaster impression, Catacombs, Shattered Bones, and then he says why does it always look like you playing an imaginary saxophone? And then Serius does the saxophone throughout the battle. He does the saxophone throughout the battle, which is funny, but so he does his little Diz impression, which a lot of people do, but and then Serius brings up a phone call as well that he said they exchanged. He said Diz called. Serius says Diz called him up before, and then the math thing, they called him after, and this and that, and so they both spoke their piece on that, and then Serius, they started scheming, getting in Diz's face. He's aggressive, he's rapping at him, and then Serius ends his round with Serius ends his round. Final line, he says, better get cool with all the Arabs in the area, because after this, Trump won't let your stupid ass back into America. And that's a cool line. But Diz goes into a pre-written rebuttal that he wrote I don't know how long ago. He always maybe assumed someone would mention Trump, and then I don't think it hit like Diz wanted it to hit. So round 1, I pretty much gave it to Serius pretty clearly. I felt like just performance, his clarity, how he just came with it. He was more direct in his approach at Dizaster, just targeted him. I don't know, he has better material, he didn't really choke like Diz. So round 2, Diz just comes out heated. He heard the last bar Serius said with Trump in it, and Diz just, I think he reverted to some material he pre-written rebuttal before, so he says, I'm gonna rebuttal that shit about Trump right now. And he says, was that a shot at me because I'm a Republican? What now? And then Serius is looking confused at this because, I don't know, Serius didn't say anything about Diz being a Republican or voting for Trump or whatever. And then Diz is like, yeah, I voted for Trump, and then says the only reason he voted for Trump was so he can build a wall to keep Cortez the fuck out, and that was his rebuttal for that. Then I don't know, that was cool for a rebuttal, I guess. But I don't know, Cortez is Puerto Rican, and so, Puerto Rican wall. But and then he goes into jokes about math hitting Serious and how hard and what it sounded like, and more jokes about the scenario and such. And but he didn't seem like he really had it together as far as structured, full written. It's like he kind of just seemed all over the place, really, just more stumbly this round again. Like, I don't know. But he said he had a line. He said I don't take you serious because you're more of a fake bitch than Serious. And he starts doing little rapid fire multis to kind of end the round off, but he really didn't even end it with much of a finisher. Serious comes out immediately with a rebuttal. A few things Diz said in the past round, and Serious says something about Lush One and sharing lines, and he says, Serious starts scheming on him. He's rapping to Diz, and he does his whole Middle East scheme, terrorists, Taliban's, Arab money, and then he says, how does Diz claim he's always ISIS, but how is NY a no-fly zone? I thought that was dope. He said you just get hijacked and be blowing yourself up, and Diz is kind of talking through Serious rounds at this point, and Serious he's thrown off for like a second, and then he goes into this like mid-round rebuttal about he said you like the American government. He says you quick to take a sellout, and then Diz was just looking at his cell phone at this part, and then Serious was rapping for a little bit longer, but that was pretty dope, just a freestyle off top like that. But Serious had great performance for that round. The final round, Diz knows he needs to pick it up at this point, really. He's rapping, attacking Serius Jones more now, just throwing some punches at this point. He starts mocking Serious' style, he's rapping, and Serious, he starts playing an imaginary saxophone, and then Diz, he starts poking Serious in the chest like 4 times or something. Organic had to step in, and it was unnecessary though. Like, I don't know, Serious was doing his thing, but I mean, Diz was yelling and predicting lines and then dapping Serious during Serious while he was rapping. So I mean, but yeah, so Diz starts poking Serious, and there's a little delay in the battle, but then Diz comes back, rapping some of the multis and shit. He's a little sloppy here and there, and then like I said, it just didn't seem like he was really all there for this battle. But Diz brings up his last angle, really. He brings up his angle, but he says he has this homie from New York that stole Serious's bitch, and Serious a pimp, and then some other dude stole his bitch, and then he brings this guy on the stage, and then the guy gets shortly taken off stage, and nobody knew the guy, and it was just kind of weird. To start the third, Head Ice comes across the stage and stands behind Serious, and then Serious rebuttals what Diz talked about, and the dude Diz brought on the stage, and the scenario and everything, and says he knew the guy, and he gave him a bitch, Serious says, and that guy went crazy, and he says, Serious says he fucks with real wolves, points at Head Ice to tell you that this dude ain't violent, and then he says, talks about the Bodied movie, and then he says that Diz was in it for free, and then Serious got paid, and he says you was in the Bodied movie, and then now you getting bodied before the movie, and then he says DNA Pat ours too. He says, and I beat everybody you lost to. I thought that was a good line. That was a good line. And then Serious goes into an angle of his own where he says, that he was raised Muslim, and then he says his real name's Salim, and then he breaks down what that means, and then he just says, what Serious means and why he picked that, and then he goes into Dizaster, and he says Bashir, which is Dizaster's name. He says Bashir means the bringer of good news, and then he says his rap name, he picked the opposite in Dizaster, and then he says, you fucking bastard, and then he says, he just starts going more into that, and then he says, you're not a terrorist just because you drop M-bombs, and then And then he raps, he finishes it off like he raps a couple of lines in Arabic to Dizaster. And, but he just finished, he just came with everything he wanted to do. And finally, I scored a battle 3-0 Serius Jones. I gave him every round. He was better in every category, really. He had better performance, better schemes, he ran better freestyles, his rebuttals was better. I don't know, he was way more, he remembered his material better. Serius Jones 3-0, he won every round. I'm gonna do some more recaps for the rest of the battles. Those on the King of the Dot BlackOut 7 pay-per-view. And any other battles, fucking past battles, future battles, current battles, trash battles, it's my battles, it's whatever fucking you want me to review, just comment, shoot me a message, let me know. I'll fucking recap that shit too, fucking as unbiased as I can, but that's what I think in this battle. Check me out. Next one I think I'm gonna do the Roan Head Ice one, or whatever else is popping. Yeah, check me out. THC, what's good, y'all.